to you, and thank you for joining us again. I apologize. Again, we had a bit of a technical hitch in our first link, but we're back, and so we're ready to carry on with the show. So I will reintroduce my panelists one more time, and we're joined by Jevan Karanja from Nanyuki. Jevan, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam. Good morning to our viewers wherever they are watching us from. And good morning to Professor Jared Onyari and my good friend Douglas Kiremi. Thanks for having me on the panel.
It's a pleasure. And we're also joined by Douglas Kiremi from Meru. Douglas, a very good morning to you.
A very good morning to you, Miriam Ogutu, and also to my friend Jevan Karanja, Professor Jared Onyari, to our crew back at our headquarters, and also to our friends across the world. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. And thanks also to God for the rains. It's raining cat and dogs here in Meru, and we're happy.
All right, thank you so much. Yeah, it rained in Nairobi overnight. It's not too cold, but it's a wet morning. Thank you so much, and it's a pleasure to have you this morning, Douglas. And we're also joined by Professor Jared Onyari from Nairobi. Professor, good morning to you.
Good morning, Miriam, Douglas, Chevan, our viewers from wherever they are, this morning or in the evening or afternoon.
All right. Thank you so much. So we shall just continue with the conversation that we were having this morning before we had that technical hitch just a moment ago, and we were looking at the news-making headlines, and we were on the Star newspaper, and the main headline on the Star newspaper this morning reads, Uhuru Ruto showdown as Parliament resumes, and impeachment cloud hangs over the DP as pro-handshake forces push through the BBI. And the story is on page 4 and 5 of the Star newspaper, and it says, Deputy President William Ruto will Monday, that is today, meet more than 100 members of Parliament as he prepares for a grueling political duel with President Uhuru Kenyatta and ODM leader Raila Odinga. Ruto's strategy meeting comes as Parliament reconvenes on Tuesday with a busy entry that could shape the 2022 presidential contest. The DP, under fire from nearly all political bigwigs, including his boss, Uhuru, is staring at a possible impeachment motion that is sure to test his grip on Parliament. Now, harmonization of the two conflicting referendum bill laws, amendments of the National Cohesion and Integration Act and the BBI Constitutional Amendment Bill currently before county assemblies are some of the legislation coming up for debate in Parliament. Now, the National Assembly's National Security Committee, led by Kiambaa Member of Parliament Paul Koinange, wants the National Cohesion and Integration Act amended to include class discrimination as a basis for incitement. This is intended to criminalize the Hustler versus Dynasty narrative, a key plank of Ruto's campaign. I'll start with you, Professor. What do you make of this bill that is now set to be introduced in Parliament?
Miriam, we have discussed here before, and we will continue making our contribution and voicing our sentiments. You know, the president and the deputy president, Miriam, we elected them as a package. And from where I stand, it is either they work together or they dissolve the government, or one of them who has got ambitions, he gets out of the way for the other one to finish his term. That is what a civil and civilized democracy people do. We have spent too much time, Miriam, at the expense of doing development and attending to the needs of this country, of talking about the wheelbarrow and the Mokoteni. About the bill, Miriam, which you have talked, you have said, which before Parliament, Miriam, it is within the powers of the members of Parliament, because one of their duties, Miriam, is to legislate. And I've looked at the bill, Miriam, the bill is there, it will take this country forward. And I pray that when the members resume tomorrow, they should be taking their business very serious, Miriam, because their time is up. So, Miriam, the deputy president just coming that you are going to meet 100 members of Parliament in the residence which the people of Kenya pays for and finance, Miriam. What does he want to show now? What does he want to tell the country and tell the world? That you can be able to marshal? Let him just pay us, Miriam. Let him just wait next year. I have always said, Miriam, to aspire is not to become. To aspire, not to become. He's aspiring to be the president of this country. He has never tried. When he will come to realize that this crowd is no more, is when he will come into the inherit. Is when he will come to inherit. Let him just stop, look back and see where the rain started beating up. And Miriam, when it comes to mediation, Miriam, as humble, as simple as I am, I hope that they give me that opportunity. I can be able to arbitrate. Miriam, you don't continue competing with your boss. It will never work that way. I've said here before, the deputy president did not nominate or appoint the president, but the president appointed him. He had so many people who could choose to be there to be his running mate. So we want them to work together. And if the other one finds it being unattainable, Miriam, there's no show of the mighty. It is either a shape up or a ship out.
All right, well, thank you, Professor Jevan. That, there's a looming showdown between the president and his deputy in parliament. That in itself is so unprecedented. Like, we've never seen such a thing before. So what is expected when parliament meets tomorrow before we even get to that bill that seeks to criminalize a hustler versus a dynasty narrative?
Thank you, Miriam, for that question. And I agree that the parliament resumes its sittings tomorrow. There are a lot of things that they have to do. There are a lot of bills, and when the members of parliament were in recess, I know they have gathered a lot of information and intelligence from their constituents, and maybe there is 1 or 2, 3 things that their people want to be rectified or to be registered, to be enacted into law. Therefore, it's a busy day, and we have said there's also the looming motion to impeach the deputy president. Although I saw the Jubilee Secretary General Raphael Tuju distancing himself and the Jubilee Party from sponsoring that kind of a motion, I see it to be tabled in the floor of House, regardless whether it to be tabled by a member from the Jubilee Party or from the opposition. I see a tussle that will be had. I see people getting to know whether they have real numbers. And you see today, Deputy President is having a meeting with members of parliament to show that he still have the numbers. Therefore, I expect even those the other groups, the Kieleweke team, they are seeing what the Deputy President is doing. He is trying them. He is attempting them to bring the motion even closer to the door of the parliament, because when you gather those members of parliament, and Miriam, we have a problem in this country. It's like we are having 2 parallel government, one led by President Uhuru Kenyatta and one led by Deputy President William Ruto. We have seen it happen. We have seen him gathering delegates in his current home. We have seen him having meeting government officials in his current residence. Now he is meeting members of parliament who aligned to his wheelbarrow agenda. Therefore, this, even to a person who is new to this country, he might think that we are having 2 presidents at a go, and that is something that has not happened in this country. Therefore, it is high time. And I ask these people to understand that we only have 1 president. And I think there's a lot of space that have been created in this double ticket. When this double ticket is the first time that we are experiencing it. And I think the deputy president, being the first deputy president and to be the first deputy president to appear on a ballot and to be elected by people, I think he feels like he has a mandate. He has powers because it is the people of Kenya who voted them. But this is a kind of contradiction. It is not good. It is good to humble yourself and wait at the right time. And maybe he'll seek the presidency in 2022. And if God's favor and the people of Kenya decides to give him, then he can continue leading the government. But for now, he can't be having a parallel government. It is high time. We call a spade, and we call the deputy president. He has abandoned his mandate as a deputy president. Now he is behaving as a president of the hustler nation. This is a surprising thing. They have a nation. It is called Hustler Nation. This is not Kenya. They have their own nation, and he is a president there. I think it is high time that the president cracks the whip and he deals with this defiant deputy president, because this is not the trend that we want to set. In future, if the deputy president William Ruto happens to become the president, will he condone a deputy president who goes contrary to his opinion? will he allow his deputy to go and sabotage his government agenda? I don't think, with the character of the Deputy President William Ruto, he can't allow that kind of a deputy president. But I feel like we have a president who is quite reluctant in terms of he does not want to engage on these small issues because he has an agenda to deliver the promises that he made to the people of Kenya. And I think at the right time, when President Uhuru Kenyatta will be done with his agenda and his campaign promise, he will come and deal with the politics of 2022. But I think for now, let's concentrate. The government agenda is the BBI, is the implementation, so that we have a clean future, so that we have a clean way as we head to 2022 election. We don't want blood to be shed in the name of politics. Okay. That is where the president is, and that is the agenda of the day. And we are waiting also for the National Assembly to pass the bill when it comes to the National Assembly after going through all the county assemblies. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And we shall look at those bills, about 4 of them that are pending there in Parliament, and one of them seeks to decriminalize hustler versus dynasty narrative, saying it's very dangerous and divisive, and it will set up a class war in this country. So we shall look at that in detail just in a bit. But up there on the same story, a Nyeri Town Member of Parliament, Ngunjiri Wambugu, a key Uhuru ally, said the president had not given any express instructions to have the DP impeached. We will wait to get directions from the party and the party leader, but so far we don't have such directions, Wambugu said of the planned push to oust Ruto. Wambugu said the president wouldn't be interested in such an idea since he has been working very well without the support of the deputy president. For us, we will ignore the DP so he can focus on his 2022, and for us, we will focus on the development agenda for our people. So they're saying, should the impeachment motion that has been proposed there by Savula go ahead, maybe that will be a distraction to President Uhuru Kenyatta and his agendas. We've seen it, it will be surrounded by a lot of politics, so that there might be a lot of politicking at the expense of the development agenda for President Uhuru Kenyatta. So from what Gunjiri is saying is that President Uhuru Kenyatta is not very keen. He has not given any instruction to his ally to want his deputy to be impeached, and President Kenyatta apparently has said, from what Wambugu is saying, that I've been working very well without my deputy, so we don't want this kind of distraction right now. Douglas, what do you make of these sentiments by Gunjiri Wambugu?
Thank you, Miriam. And I also thank Gunjiri that he has said he doesn't speak for the president. The president is also a human being. And also the people of Kenya should understand one thing, that this deputy president, like Jevan said, he has been hosting people in a government facility in Karen. That house does not belong to him or his family. That is a government house. He has been hosting them and giving them handouts money that is meant for proper running of the office of the deputy president. He no longer attends official functions in this country. He no longer works for the good of the people of this country. He wants to run for the president of the Republic of Kenya. And I'm on record saying that becoming president and also your ambition to become president, you are looking for bread and water for your wife and children. Deputy President, we don't owe you anything as a people in this country. When you become the president in this country, that is when you shall now start holding public office. What Deputy President William Ruto is doing across the nation, giving wheelbarrows, giving dry cleaners, dryers and salon paraphernalia and all that, it is his own ambition to become president. We have a sitting president in the Republic of Kenya in the name of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. And president was very categorical in Sagana. He said the projects that the deputy president is riding on to be erected in 2022 do not belong to Deputy President William Ruto. They belong to the administration of President Uhuru Kenyatta. And there is one motion that we need to correct. Deputy President under the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya 2010 is a principal assistant to the president. He was not given that mandate to continue campaigning to be president in 2022. If now people are seeing that the Deputy President William Ruto is no longer interested in government agenda, BBI is not in, development record is not in. He has stopped even launching his fake projects that he launched between 2013 and 2017. Deputy President William Ruto today is running to become a president in this nation, whereas we have a president that is serving. What we are asking the president, the deputy president to do is to resign from government and go and pitch a tent in his home, so that he can become a president.
All right, but let's look at Douglas. Let's look at this approach that Mbugu has said, and perhaps, you know, I'm sure he has access to the president, so maybe this is President Uhuru Kenyatta's thinking, I'm not sure. But from what Mbugu is saying, he said the president wouldn't be interested in the idea of impeaching his deputy since he has been working well even without the support of the DP. So perhaps what the President Uhuru Kenyatta is saying, starting an impeachment process right now for his deputy might increase an already charged political environment right now that might not be very good for the country, and might come at an expense of other important agendas in the country. So he's saying, you know what, I've been working very well without his support, so let him continue doing whatever he's doing, and I'll not be sidetracked from what I think is important for Kenyans. So let's just ignore him. And I think that perhaps that is what President Uhuru Kenyatta is trying to do there, if we were to go by what Mbugu is saying. So that strategy, don't you think?
Listen, Miriam, before I conclude on this remark, this is the deputy president in the Republic of Kenya. And is the president going to be answering the charges, the impeachment charges in parliament? Is the president going to be stopped from working from State House the way he is doing? Is the president going to be stopped from launching these projects? We have a very fake deputy president, William, in the name of William Ruto, an hybrid chameleon that has been disturbing the president of the Republic of Kenya. I also agree with your sentiment and also line of thought that he can be left alone and also be ignored.
This is what Mbugu is saying. It's not my thought. This is what Mbugu is saying. He's saying that the president is thinking from that perspective.
Yeah. Yes, Miriam. He can be ignored, but now he's using public resources. He's using even his current office, Miriam, to continue campaigning for president. He's getting an extra mileage that I don't want to see in this country. Again, Miriam, Deputy President calls himself a Christian. Can he continue when he is president, when Douglas Kiremi is a deputy president to William Ruto? Can he continue allowing me to use government resources? Invoice him with the choppers that I fly in, invoice him telling them that I'm doing a government project, whereas I'm running for president. Deputy president should do Kenyans a service and also resign from government and continue campaigning, because we have seen him move across the country and I have no guidance for him. If president wants to keep him around, he can keep him around, but as the people of goodwill in this country and also people in this country, we don't want that man in that office any longer. And I wish the president would listen to the people of Mount Kenya when he asked, if we permit him, these people will be chased away from their offices. Let him impeach the deputy president. He should be impeached. We have nothing to lose. As a country, we are losing so much in terms of taxes and also goodwill when this deputy moves around and campaigns and besmirches the government of President Uhuru Kenyatta. This is the same man that dismembers the SGR legacy. And Miriam, before I go, this is the same man that would take the bloggers and take members of parliament using SGR that he continues dismembering as he comes with a chopper to campaign in Mombasa. Okay. This is an hypocrite, Miriam. This is a political hypocrite that we are dealing with, a very dangerous man, Miriam. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Professor, I don't know what you make of those
Miriam,
sentiments.
let me just have this to say.
Yes, go ahead.
I have never differed with the president. But they beg me today that I beg today that I differ with him. On this one, it's not proper advice. It's not proper advice. And let me say that I have always said that when someone says this, the opposite is true. The office of the deputy president is not functioning. What is Wambugu trying to tell us? Not for the interest. It's not functioning. We want to release this man to go and continue doing his campaign. We are not against him. We want to give him ample time. Miriam, I have never seen it, and I'm yet to be assisted that in any democracy in the world, any democracy, help me. You are a journalist, help do some research and advise me. Where the president say this and the deputy is saying this, the same government serving the same people. No, Miriam, it doesn't work. It has
never happened anywhere in the world.
If the president is not trying to support impeachment, let them terminate their term in office. They go home. We want to get the first people to take over. The impeachment process must be concluded for the remaining few days if you want to create a legacy.
Professor, do you think the disagreement or the dysfunction between the president and his deputy is affecting the service delivery in any way, the legacy of President?
Let me tell you, Miriam, this one does not argue well with rule of law and good governance. That's what it is. It is unconstitutional for you to elect a deputy president who is not working. So the issue here is we release the deputy president good in time to continue with this campaign. In fact, even what the president is trying to say that is working, the government is working. That is not what the constitution wanted the action to be taken, Miriam. So from where I sit on this one, I differ with my president.
All right.
Things are not working well. It does not argue well to children, those who are doing civic and social studies in school, Miriam.
Yeah, Miriam.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Jevon.
Can I
Yes,
say something?
Yes, go ahead.
You know, when we had the people saying that the former majority leader Aden Duale will be kicked out, the same president came in a meeting in State House, and he spared him, and the people started celebrating that Duale is a very good politician, is a timely politician. But after 1 week, the same Gojiri Wambogo was in record saying that the president has no intentions to force a resignation of Aden Duale, the former majority leader. But after 2 weeks, Aden Duale was crying, heading to Garissa Township after his seat was made vacant. Therefore, when Gonjiri Wabogo speaks, the opposite sometimes becomes the reality. Therefore, as we move on, in the next 3 weeks, we will see whether Gonjiri Wabogo, honorable MP from where I came from, Nyeri Town, whether we'll hold him accountable for what he is saying. But for now, I feel like there's something that Gojiri is saying in a kind of a hidden language, in an innuendo, that the deputy president is not performing. The deputy president is irrelevant. That is what Gojiri Wambogo is saying. And if he is irrelevant, and he is still in office, what is the best option to do? If he refuses to resign, the best option is to impeach him. That is the journey that I feel like, although the Jubilee government is not coming out to say that, when the impeachment motion will be tabled on the floor of the House, I see even members who maybe the deputy president thought are his allies voting to impeach him.
Yes.
That is something that happened in this country.
And
when Jaramogi Oginga
Odinga, something that you've said that perhaps what Gunjiri is saying is that the DP is not working, and we all see that perhaps he's not been working together as we saw them working the first time they were elected together there. And so the deputy president a couple of weeks ago came out and said, you know what, my job is to support President Uhuru Kenyatta and our agenda. My job is to support him, and I've been doing my best to support him. And now we see here Ngunjiri saying that the president is not really interested in the idea of impeaching him because so far he's been working very well without his deputy president. So where does this leave deputy president and his saying that he's been supporting his boss? And of course, lately we've seen something different. Go ahead, complete your thought, Jevon.
What Gojili is saying that without the deputy president, President Uhuru Kenyatta can continue doing his job. That is what he is saying. Without the deputy president, without the figure, you know, now what we have is a figure of a deputy president because he is not functional. He is not doing his job. Therefore, without that figure of the deputy president, the president will continue doing his mandate. And I was saying this, in 1966, when Jaramogi Odinga was about to be impeached, and when they brought an article to have 6 vice president, Jaramogi Oginga thought he has the numbers. But when the Mzee Jomo Kenyatta and his allies tabled that motion, the people Jaramogi Oginga relied on and thought that he will oppose that kind of an agenda are the same people who supported it. Therefore, I see a likely scenario happening. And these are, history repeats itself. We are likely to see even members of parliament who are allies, who are thought to support the deputy president, in one way or the other, if an impeachment motion goes to the floor of the House, going to support it. That is something in politics, because when you support it, you have nothing to lose, because at the end of the day, you have pushed him out. And in politics, you have scored, because there will be no questioning at the end of the day. I see that kind of a route coming. And as Gojiri Wabogo says, the deputy president is not functional, is not doing. The president has been achieving a lot without his deputy. Therefore, even if he is impeached, there is nothing to lose.
All right.
Thank you.
Very well. Thank you so much. Now, what is they're looking forward? Of course, Deputy President William Ruto is meeting with members of Parliament allied to him, even as Parliament sets to start its, tomorrow, to start its session tomorrow, to resume, its sittings there. I think that will be the right words there, tomorrow. And what we are looking at, about 4 bills that are coming up for consideration by the House, and one of them, the National Assembly's National Security Committee, led by Kiambaa Member of Parliament Paul Koinange, wants the National Cohesion and Integration Act amended to include class discrimination as a basis for incitement. This is intended to criminalize the Hustler versus Dynasties, a narrative, a key plank of Ruto's campaign. Douglas.
Yes, Miriam.
All right, Professor.
Yeah, Miriam, I want to address this thing from the peace and conflict perspective. The deputy president has already created a conflict, and a terrible conflict, Miriam. Miriam, tomorrow you are going to walk the streets as smart as you are dressed. A young lady is going to stop you and demand for your hearings, because you also want to have some hearings, because, Miriam, you are the cause of her not having those hearings. She also wants to look beautiful. What am I trying to say, Miriam? Jesus once said that the poor will always be there. They will be there. The poor will always be there until Jesus brings back his kingdom. After having said that, Miriam, what I'm trying to say, Miriam, you don't say that this is poor, these are rich, and these are the poor. And create an impression that these ones who don't have, it is because of this group, Miriam. The sad is going to be Nanak. And not once, not twice, Miriam. If you don't listen to your elders, Miriam, there's something wrong. The president has told him not once. The prime minister has told him not once. Stephen Kalonzo, the vice president, has told him not once. Musada Mudavadi. Miriam, these people can't be wrong. They can't be wrong, Miriam. We have said, don't, Miriam, you campaign, but don't create the class war. It will destroy this country, Miriam. Miriam, some people have lost lives because of that, Miriam, you know. When you stop like one, they say, the border riders, they have killed people, Miriam, because of that kind of thing. So, Miriam, this is insubordination, Miriam. As much as, and that's why I say that, Miriam, this constitution, even if we are going to do it, do it through BBI, there's something need to be done with this constitution, Miriam. It gives a lot of powers, a lot of freedom without responsibility, Miriam. If the constitution gives you these rights, you must use it responsibly, Miriam. So the Asara nation, Miriam, will destroy this country because the drums of war have already been drummed, Miriam. And wait and see, Miriam. Didn't you even see what was happening, Miriam, in Kisi, the land of the Abagusi? Didn't you see the 2 dishonorable members of parliament, because those cannot be honorable members of parliament, Miriam? An honorable and a decent person will never do. You don't go to where people have lost their loved ones, Miriam. Then you start bring chaos, Miriam. And now, as I've lost my mom, let the member of parliament come and try bring that nonsense. And I'm attending that funeral, Miriam. They will go faster than thunder. When you go, you go responsible. But what I want to say is this: because of this Asra nation, people are becoming intolerant. They will not want to listen to one another. So this is how serious it has come. If 2 dishonorable members of parliament can fight, what will happen to the poor people, Miriam? The ordinary people down here. So, Miriam, I'm still appealing to the deputy president to do soul searching. Go and speak to his brother whom I could see 2013, 2017, wearing white shirt, red tie, marching together, smiling together. And they must realize what happened. We have not been told what happened. Is it because one started stealing from the government? Because what really happened, we need to be told. And that's why, Miriam, I totally concur with Dr. MATSANGA. Whether the impeachment is going to go through or not, let us have the character of the president, the deputy president, be discussed, and we know what he has done. Let it be ventilated in the floor of the house for the world to see what the Hasra nation can do. It will destroy the country.
All right, very well. And Professor, our condolences to you and your family over the loss of your mother. We are praying for you. And now, Douglas, I hope you're listening now. The National Assembly's National Security Committee, led by Kiambaa Member of Parliament Paul Koinange, wants the National Cohesion and Integration Act amended to include class discrimination as a basis for incitement. This is intended to criminalize the Hustler versus Dynasties narrative, a key plank of Ruto's campaign. Douglas? Very well, Javen.
Yeah, thank you, Miriam. And that is a very good initiative.
Thank you, Miriam, and also
Koinange is doing a very good job to ensure that we have a legislation. And Miriam have been saying, this NCIC, we really don't have a definition of what amounts to incitement, on what amounts to dividing Kenyans in a way that they can make them engage in violence or engage in a way that will destroy or destruction of property, as we have seen happening. Therefore, it is high time, even if, as Honorable Paul Koinange, the Member of Parliament for Kiambaa, goes on to discriminate the Hasra versus Dynasty agenda, we also bring on to table a definition of what words, of what institutes to be tabled and to be said to be a word that incites Kenyans. We need to have because we have seen leaders, some using vulgar language and they go unpunished. And we have seen also some use words that are relatively innuendos. Maybe some an ordinary Kenyan might not even understand what they mean, and they are taken to NCIC. Therefore, we need to have clear lines drawn so that we understand. But all said and done, this Hasra versus Dynasty narrative is something that is destructive in nature. It's something that is retrogressive. It's something that is making youths in this country to start having bitter.
Okay, apologies for that. Seems to have suffered some signal problem there from Chief.
In a good suit, you are dynasty. They start telling you that you are the reason why they are not succeeding in life. Therefore, to avoid all this kind of contradiction, it is high time that we ban these divisions. If we talk of tribalism, if we talk of nepotism, if we talk of racism as means that divide this nation, that can make a country go down, why not include this Hasra versus Dynasty there? Because it is more dangerous than some of these things. Some of these vices combined. Therefore, that is a good move, and it's high time also as Kenyans we avoid these kind of narratives, whether it's through tribalism, whether it's through Hasrarism, or whether it's racism. All these kind of division, and that is why today I don't support any side in this. But what Junet Muhammad was saying, trying to portray Mudhogo Waroiro, as he calls himself, Isaac Mwaura, as somebody who bleached himself in order to be nominated in Senate. That is a language that we need to avoid using, because at the end of the day, if we go that route of discriminating people based on their color, and we make it to our leaders a norm, then it will trickle down to the common 190, and you see people beating each other because you are white and you are black than them. That is not the kind of route that we want to go. Therefore, all forms of discrimination, all forms of things that can make Kenyans divide, let them be dealt with, let them be punished, and those who are held culpable, let them be taken to jail, because that are people who are not safe in the society.
Okay, thank you so much. And there's something that Professor mentioned earlier that, some section of leadership of this country has come out and warned how perhaps dangerous this narrative is. Leading political figures in this country and other section of leadership in this country. And Deputy President and his allies don't seem to feel this is, the hustler narrative is as destructive as perhaps other people are looking at it. Is there a point that Deputy President William Ruto is missing? Douglas.
Thank you, Miriam. And also we need to be able to understand when
it is ridiculous and it is against the laws of nature that we can have somebody sitting pretty who takes home more money than the credible entrepreneur who is doing actual production of goods and services.
We always say it as it is. It is only in this country that when a thief is arrested, you hear elders from their tribe saying, he is our son and he is our thief.
If you are deviant
Yes.
and I call you leader, probably you are already a leader, but you are leading in the wrong direction.
We want to see the role of the youth
Yeah.
in the security,
Yes.
governance,
Yes.
and development.
The youth that I meet and work with here, we call them the millennials and X's and Y's, this and that. They don't necessarily want to live like their fathers and grandfathers, do business like their fathers and grandfathers. They're more independent, they're better educated, and they're the ones that are making everything move in this region.
We look at the issues, we talk about issues that impact people's lives in Africa. The African peoples themselves continue to cheer bad leaders, and because they cheer them on, they continue to be misled.
Let me ask you, doctor, would you rather be somebody who does not enjoy so much freedom but you are rich?
Yes.
Or you'd rather be poor who you are actually imprisoned by the poverty itself?
My goal is not...
Welcome back. Sorry for that. So I'd asked Douglas a question, and we've seen a number of leadership in this country come out and raise concerns over the usage of hustler versus a dynasty narrative and perhaps the dangers it poses and the misinterpretation other people might have over what Deputy President means when he says hustler versus dynasty there. But Deputy President William Ruto seems to think this is a problem. So is he missing a point, Douglas? That was the question.
Yes, Miriam, thank you. And I agree. My answer is yes, because when Deputy President William Ruto was in Kitengera a few months ago, the other month in January, he said that these people are creating jobs for themselves, they are creating positions for themselves, and he said these particular words, watajua wajui. You don't incite Kenyans against other leaders that you have been obnobbing with and also moving around with. Since 1992, Deputy President has never known the taste of opposition. He has never opposed any government, and he has been supporting these people that he calls rich people. Like the president was asking, when you are supporting him, you didn't know he's a rich man. In 1992, we had poor people running for president with humble backgrounds. He supported Moi, a billionaire. In 1997, the same thing. 2002, he supported Uhuru Kenyatta. 2007, he supported Raila Odinga. 2013, Uhuru Kenyatta. 2017, A and B, he supported Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. This is a deputy president who does not care about the feelings of the people. Remember, people have been giving their stories. When you drive your car, you are told we are going to ban your car. You are a dynasty. You have been eating our taxes and all that. Ordinary people campaigning, not looking for any position of power, and not doing anything. They're just doing their bit, also living their lives, and also the best way they can. People who have taken loans, they have had their vehicles vandalized and burned. by people who have been calling them Asra dynasties because they are Asras. They think the deputy president has been telling them that these people are rich, you are poor because these people are rich. And this is something that the deputy president of the Republic of Kenya is missing. When these Asras are coming for the rich people, they will first go for him. They will first go for Western Hotel that sits on a grubby land. They will first of all go to Isugoi home. And all manner of things, Miriam, because at the end of the day, we have never had leaders in this nation who raised to power through the class war. It is a dangerous trend to go on, to go through, and also for the people that continue propagating that. You have seen the Bonda people that support the deputy president. Most of them are killing others and also burning vehicles. They also wanted to ban the former chief of staff in the army, General Julius Karangi, calling him a dynasty when they knew that it is General Karangi. They had to run away. What if it was not General Karangi who had his vehicle that day? They would have burnt that vehicle and there's nothing that would have been done to these people, because this is a very dangerous class war. And I also agree with the Kiambaa MP, Paul Koinange, that he is taking a role in parliament. Let them criminalize this. And also, before we even take that role to parliament, we need these country institutions to work so that we can take action against people that incite Kenyans against other Kenyans, Miriam. For Deputy President William Ruto, he can no longer continue obnobbing with the Oroi Poroi of this nation, whereas he is sitting at the Rajis in government. He is sitting in the same government that he continues scandalizing and also conniving with other fellow criminals and also fellow thieves who continue promising others, Kenyans, wheelbarrows at the BS of development and also going forward as a nation. Remember, Miriam, we have also a man in Turkana who follows Deputy President William Ruto promising people of Turkana wheelbarrows for the sake of development when William Ruto becomes president. His Excellency Governor Nanok, he has received over 165 billion shillings, 65 billion from World Bank and other donors, and over 100 from the government. He has done nothing today. The people of Turkana continues being told that they are poor and also continues to suffer lack of education, clean water, and also food. But this man has even bought over 2 choppers to continue scandalizing the government, to continue malnourishing the people with their words, and also teaching them that it is the people that are rich today, the reason why they are poor. It is wrong what the Deputy President and his brigade are doing, and the earlier they are contained, Miriam, the better. I submit.
All right. Thank you so much. Now, as we conclude this conversation this morning, this National Security Committee, this bill that has been brought by a Kiambaa Member of Parliament, Paul Koinange, that wants the National Cohesion and Integration Act amended to include class discrimination as a basis for incitement, particularly mentioning the Hustler versus Dynasty narrative there. Is it necessary? I'll start with you, Professor.
Miriam, constitutions are there, the acts are there, the laws are there, they can be amended, Miriam, as per the changing times in history, Miriam. There is no harm, Miriam, in going to refuse the National Cohesion Act so that we can have terms clearly defined and to have meaning. So on this, not only the word Asra, Miriam, more terms, Miriam, should be made very clear that you cannot hold on this very. So I support it's a good idea, Miriam. They should be able to nip it before it becomes a big snake. This is a small snake. Eventually, it will become a big snake, and when it bites us, Miriam will die. We have seen what it can be able to do, Miriam. You get this border guys, Miriam, you are gone. So let us have an ideology. Let us have policies. Let us have principles, Miriam. Let us have ideas. Let us know what you stand for. And you said yourself, don't just go. In fact, it's against the constitution, because now the Asra nation seems to be discriminating, Miriam, against those well-to-do people in our country. The constitution wants us to be together, and it's a symbol or it's a document which unites us all.
All right. Thank you so much, Chairman. This bill, is it necessary right now?
Thank you, Miriam, for that. And I think it is not a matter of it's a matter of urgent that we deal with this hustlerism agenda once and for all, because you have seen how it can do, how it is something that is so fragile If the slightest touch, it erupts. We have seen how people have been burning vehicles, calling them dynasties. We have seen people celebrate when people who attempt to be rich go through.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead. Okay, all right. We have lost Jevon there. Douglas, maybe conclude for us.
Miriam, and also our viewers, we need to understand as a country, we can no longer continue the way we are doing today. We are not doing well as a country as far as politics of polarization, and also people that are connived to continue entrenching their selfish agenda. Remember, Miriam, we have had the people run for president, including a man that I found to have the lowest votes in our presidential history, called Kukubo Nixon Jeremiah. This is a personal ambition to become president of the Republic of Kenya. You cannot hold a country, a people, hostage, and also stretch the people of Kenya against each other because you want to be president. Miriam, including myself, when I become president, or Professor Jared Onyari, when he becomes president, that is the day he starts now becoming a public official. As far as I'm concerned, anything the professor does is a personal ambition. Kenyans should not be marked into the political terrain of anyone who wants to become president. If you want to support someone, wait for the election day. Go and vote for them. For us now, the MP, the MCA, the governor, the president, let those people serve their mandate. After they complete their mandate, the campaigns will be open for about 3 months. Then you continue setting your agenda. All these moving around with choppers and also speaking to angry masses who have not eaten in weeks and also days, and also people that cannot afford basic amenities. When you continue giving them false hopes, and whereas you are also sitting under a mandate that is very clear, that is not expired. Miriam, it is the highest form of hypocrisy, and also taking Kenyans for a ride, because at the end of the day, this is what is going to polarize our country, because we have seen it as it started. And before this starts, I hope that the institutions in this country will work and will take action against such people, because becoming president, becoming an MCA, becoming an MP, it is your own personal ambition. It only becomes a public office when you win, and you're sworn in to that office. And actually you can win and not also become president or an MP if you're not sworn in under the Constitution of the Republic of Kenya, Miriam. So I urge all Kenyans of goodwill and also fellow Kenyans, be patriotic to your country and be patriotic to your motherland, because at the end of the day, Miriam, what it counts is that nobody is leaving this country, including when William Ruto loses presidency or he becomes president. We are all Kenyans and we are going nowhere. The rich will be here, the poor will be here, and also in 2022, including if he can win the presidency, he is going to do nothing about the rich people in this country because he didn't make anyone rich, Miriam. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Douglas Kirimi. Thank you so much, Jevon Karanja. Thank you so much, Professor Jared Onyari. And as I said there, Parliament is set to resume tomorrow, and there are bills that are coming up for consideration in the House. And the first one is the National Cohesion and Integration Amendment Bill 2019, the one we've just been discussing, that seeks to criminalize hustler versus dynasty, narrative. And the second one is the Referendum Bill 2020, the Referendum number 2 Bill of 2020. And the third one is the Constitution of Kenya Amendment Bill number 5, Bill number 67 of 2019. And the last one is the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Amendment Bill 2019. And the reason why, while we were reading this story, started by saying there is a showdown looming in Parliament, is because in all these bills, President Uhuru Kenyatta and his deputy do not see eye to eye. So it's going to be a showdown within the same government. Quite interesting times we're living in here in Kenya. This has been Good Morning Africa. My name is Miriam Ogutu. Thank you so much for watching. Juma Smith, you're saying economic conditions cannot be criminalized. There's a fact of life. Instead of wasting time, create policies to create wealth. Quite interesting, because those policies is what the deputy president is supposed to be doing. You see, that's why a lot of Kenyans are confused. You're coming to tell us this, and yet you're in a position, you're at an advantaged position as the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, where you can create these policies to save, to address the issues of unemployment, to address the issues of poverty and all that in state. You're using that to do other things. So that is the confusion that we find ourselves in, because Deputy President can actually go sit on that table and create policies that can change some of these issues. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you at 11 a.m. Bye-bye for now.